So, another one from Laron. What is the hardest thing about dance photography?
What is the hardest thing about the dance photography?
In your opinion first, and then I'll go.
Okay. I think that the most difficult thing that the expectations of anyone who's dancing on the floor, and again, I'm talking not about everyone. I'm not talking about Oscar, who's happened to be a dancer and a photographer, but the average dancer thinking that all you're doing is just clicking on the camera in
And
hundreds
it
of
magically pops up on the
right,
iPads
right,
an hour later
right,
or 2 hours later.
and beautiful images of you coming up on screen, and all you need to do is upload images, and it takes, like, you're doing it wirelessly, you're using, I don't know, technology, and basically it's like instant photography, sort of like iPhone, and it's not. That's the most difficult concept. That's why we're doing this podcast. We want everyone to understand what
It's
is
not
really,
that
what is
easy.
really involved in the what is a photographer doing really behind the lens, and why is it not, why is the some photographers charging $5,000 for the wedding? Well, and that's
That's
that.
why. It's not just, again, like I said in the last podcast, it's not point and shoot and that's it. You have to know the settings. You have to buy the camera, which is also very expensive. You also have to then go and edit the pictures with an expensive, like, not even talk about cost. Just it takes a lot of time also and a lot of experience and expertise in order to actually edit the images. And then you have to send it to the client, and the client's like, "Oh, I don't like this." And it's like, you have
And
to do it
usually,
again then.
you're dealing with the client, like, and again, I'm not okay. You're talking about dance photography. It's not uncommon when someone months later after the competition comes to you and saying, "Hey, I'm looking for such and such images.
Yeah.
Can I do this, or can I do that?" Or some dancers coming to you and they saying, "Hey, we love this image, and my dress designer wants to put the wall in the studio using this image. And what are the characteristics of the image, and is that useful for making, let's say, 10 by 20, wall art?" And sometimes it is, and sometimes it is not. Uh,
Yeah.
Anyway, was that the answer, or you think something
Yeah,
else?
I mean, for a more basic answer, that was a pretty good. I was like, that was a good answer. I like that, but because it's definitely 100% true. But a more basic answer, like when it comes to like physical stuff to do, the hardest thing, again, like we said, the actual taking pictures is the easiest part of taking pictures. Quote that, whatever. It is. But like the hardest thing, like for physical like work, would be sorting the images.
It's a tedious work.
It's
This is very,
it's
very
very
time consuming and
tedious.
tedious work, and,
Yeah.
and someone has to do it. And you I don't know, some people telling me that they're using some, basically outsourcing this to, I don't know, the most common would be for me to hear, like, Bangladesh.
Never heard that actually.
Lots of outsourcing is done to Bangladesh. Um,
Interesting.
whereas all U.S. scanning is happening. If you have to scan, hundreds of pages, it's happening in Bangladesh. I have a friend who deals with all that stuff. But
Yeah.
anyway, there are some photographers who would allow for that and who would love that, and some photographers who taking pride of what they do, and they do edit their pictures, and it's more of a, I don't know. I mean, we work together, but I'm thinking of myself as a solo. I'm a solo photographer, so if I give editing to someone else and it's not me, I will not know what I'm shooting and what I'm doing. I'd like to see my images. I'm an artist. I would rather sacrifice on the quantity of images or quantity of competitions. But for some, it's not an option. You have to basically shoot a lot and make living.
Yes.
So it's not the topic for today.